How to Train Your Dragon is right not to change iconic moments from the animated movies. How to Train Your Dragon's upcoming live-action remake is going to be largely similar to the original 2010 animated film of the same name, and that's the right move to make. How to Train Your Dragon will be a new take on the same story about the young Viking Hiccup and his unlikely best friend, a dragon he dubs Toothless. The cast of How to Train Your Dragon are the same as in the original, although the remake has embraced diverse casting and tweaked elements of their personal motivations. However, it's clear from trailers the movies will be very similar. Director Dean DeBlois, who also co-directed the original animated film and helmed the two subsequent sequels, has been clear about the importance of remaining faithful to How to Train Your Dragon while building upon them in exciting ways. The result is a movie that may build off the original but will indulge in some direct recreations of the animated movie into live action, including some iconic scenes being recreated almost shot for shot. This is likely the right decision, as it will keep the fans happy with scenes that still work while the story and characters' changes are impacted in more subtle ways. How to Train Your Dragon won't remix some iconic scenes. How to Train Your Dragon's upcoming live-action remake will remain reverential to certain scenes from the original animated films, which is the right call to make given the intent behind the expansion of the source material. During an event attended by Screen Rant, How to Train Your Dragon director Dean DeBlois explained that the upcoming live-action film will expand on the original animated movie, but will largely follow the same story beats. This means some scenes from the original have been recreated shot for shot, as DeBlois explained. This was done in respect to the fan base who grew up with those moments. I took the stance that there are key moments that people see as iconic to the original trilogy. We very carefully tried, with a live-action crew on our set and our camera setup, to mimic those scenes almost shot for shot. While some aspects of the film will be built up to accommodate the longer runtime and slight shift in tone, this confirms that scenes like Hiccup and Toothless' first flight will be highly reflective of the original movie. This makes sense, especially for the scenes that helped elevate the movie among the rest of DreamWorks' animated output over the last few decades. How to Train Your Dragon changing iconic moments wouldn't fly with fans. How to Train Your Dragon has spent the last 15 years as one of the definitive animated franchises, with countless movie fans growing up with the adventures of Toothless and Hiccup. This is one of the reasons that the live-action film is likely moving forward, as it could be a big chance for DreamWorks and Universal to reassert the franchise years after the trilogy concluded. As a result, it makes sense why the creatives behind the movie wouldn't want to mess too much with a winning formula. As DeBlois explained, we knew we were building upon a movie that worked. So long as we weren't veering too far away from that narrative, the pieces were sort of just designed to slot in. It's like making a movie with training wheels. The central friendship between Hiccup and Toothless is still the emotional core of the film, and as such the beats with them together will still drive the narrative. Many of those scenes were visually distinctive, and that's part of the appeal of bringing the film to live action in the first place. Therefore, it would likely annoy fans to see those memorable beats set aside, and some shot-for-shot scenes make sense. How to Train Your Dragon's core story won't change too much. That isn't to say that the film should be too beholden to the original film, which is a flaw that some other remakes of animated classics have tripped over. The expanded runtime and natural tonal tweaks that come with bringing the show to live action do leave room to make the film feel different, even as it tackles the same characters and story. DeBlois has noted that Astrid and Stoic both get expanded focus in the film. DeBlois acknowledged that he thought Astrid felt like she was pretty thin in the original film, and that she deserved further depth and exploration.